What's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. Join alongside Jacob in Wisconsin. We got Tim in Green Bay. We got Emilio fresh out the shower in Tennessee, here to talk some Packers this evening. We got an awesome show for y'all. We're going to talk about all the roster moves as they begin to mold and shape, and it'll probably change a little bit. The practice squad, we'll talk about all that. We'll give you injury updates from practice. Got some really important news to cover there. We'll give you the latest on the Micah Parsons rumors, and then of course we'll finish up, if we have time, a little bit of Detroit Lions preview as we're closing in on the very first game of the season. Before we get into that, if you guys will, let's do that YouTube stuff. Hit like, hit subscribe. If this is your first time tuning into PTA, welcome. Thank you for making us a part of your evening. We're not experts here. We're not insiders. We're not media members. What we are fans just like you, talking Packers on the daily, doing pregame shows, postgame shows, film breakdown, the whole 9 yards. So if you're looking for daily Packers content, you found the right place. Just make sure you hit subscribe and click that bell icon so you're notified every time we go live. I see everybody in the chat filing in. We're going to have a crowd in here this evening. Hopefully everybody had an awesome day. Gentlemen, how we doing? How's everybody's day go here? Emilio looks a little pissed off tonight, which is kind of rare. Emilio, something wrong?
B got me today, Clay.
Oh, yes. Is it swelling up?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thumb swelling up a little bit. And I'm pretty sure it's Bumblebee, too. I was just pulling a vine off a hydrangea and wasn't happy with me.
So it wasn't the southern ground dwellers.
No.
Boy, do y'all got those up there up north? Y'all got the yellow jackets in the ground?
Yeah.
And they are mean down here, boy. The most I took 13 in one swoop one day. Boy, I was running across the yard like a madman. They probably thought I was liquored up. But anyway, go ahead, Jake. What were you going to say, man?
No, I'm pretty sure, Chuck, you can confirm this. Bumblebees don't sting. I think Emilio was just making it
up.
I
didn't even realize
they do if you like stick your hand right in where they're pollinating.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was in the flower that I yanked on, and he was not happy about it.
Jacob said he's yanked on a few flowers, but we'll keep that for another show. So,
just the tip, though.
Jeez, man, Tim had that one locked and loaded. I regretted what I said the second it came out of my mouth. Tim just jumped right in. Good to go. So it's gonna be one of those nights. I see Emilio got the Oktoberfest back. I gotta go pick mine up, man. Gotta go pick mine up. Nice. I'm getting the weight down to about 177. And then, boys, I'm telling you, I'm going to order 2 pizzas. We're going to get Oktoberfest, and we're just going to lay around all weekend and watch college football. That's what's going to happen. So.
Cheese curds make my stomach hurt all the time, but I do eat them though.
Yeah, so we'll put that back on real quick. Do you guys got anything y'all want to cover? I kind of gave you a rundown what we're going to hit tonight. Was there anything that I didn't tell you guys in the pre-show that maybe y'all want to hit on? So we get to it right now. Anything at all?
Nothing on the top of my mind.
Okay, good deal, man. Well, let's jump right into it, man. Listen, there's a couple things that happened today that I'm not very – I don't want to say I'm unhappy about, but it kind of we seen some of this coming. Like this one here, we talked a little bit about this yesterday. We talked about how the Packers would have roster moves where they would have people on the 53, and then within 24 to 48 hours, they will cut them loose and then try to sneak them onto the practice squad, right? And this one right here, Micah Robinson, the Packers have released him. According to Bill Huber earlier today, the Packers have released Micah Robinson. He'll have to go through waivers. If he does, he could become the 16th or 17th on the practice squad. Now, listen, they signed Nick Niemann. I think I'm saying that right. Or would you say Neiman there, Jacob? What do you think there? N-I-E.
I think I'd say Neiman, but who knows?
Okay.
Hello, Neiman.
There you go. So we'll hit on him a little bit. I want to get your all's take on the Micah Robinson release there. How do we feel about that? Do you think he'll clear waivers? Think we'll get him back on the practice squad? How do y'all feel about that?
I hope so. I mean, they did enough research on him. I would think that they would want to bring him back. And he made the 53, so you would think that they would want to bring that and put him right back on there to kind of churn him.
Yeah, I think it's just like positioning, right? It's probably why they put him on the 53.
Yeah.
Then a release, then a sign. Hopefully we'll get that soon.
Like Emilio mentioned in the pre-show, it's like, so that voids the 4-year, right? The 4-year contract of being a draft pick. It does. However, if he makes it back on the practice squad, let's say he finishes the year on the practice squad, you sign him to a futures deal that'll reset where you've essentially got his rights for 3 more years. So you really don't lose a year there. And you don't have to worry about it. I don't think there's any guaranteed money sacrificed in regards to a 7th round pick, if I remember correctly. So I think he's a player they do want back on the practice squad. This is just one of those moves that they were afraid someone would swoop him up. And now you let everybody else fill their roster, you got a better chance of just sneaking him onto the practice squad as they've already filled their 53. So let's talk about the linebacker they signed here. This one was kind of intriguing, man. I've never heard of this guy. And I want to get your all's take on it. I know, Jacob, this is kind of your specialty, man. You love these type of signings right here, kind of under the radar, if you will. So the Packers released Micah Robinson and signed linebacker to their 53-man roster per Matt Schneidman. The Packers signed Neiman, to their 53, all right? And as Mike Garafolo points out, this was the interesting part for me. He says the Texans are releasing linebacker Nick Neiman, a special teams contributor who signed a 2-year, $6 million deal with the team in March. Neiman's contract included $3 million guaranteed this season and $1 million in full guarantees next year as well. So it's kind of odd. Why would you give him that money and then cut him loose? Of course, that's why the Houston Texans are the Houston Texans, I guess, right? Making decisions like that. But nonetheless, we got a little bit of PFF information here. Probably hard for you guys to see. I'll see if I can read it here. So essentially, throughout his career, starting in 2021, he had a 54, 67, 71, and 71. So the last couple of years now, in 2023, he had 247 snaps. In 2024, he only had 44 snaps, so probably a little banged up in that regard. He's 6'3", 244. He's an Iowa Hawkeye, and he was drafted in the 6th round initially. So what's your all's take on this, man? As Drew D says, why are we signing Neiman when Welch played so well? What more does Welch have to do to make the roster? This goes hand in hand with the Micah Robinson talk, Drew. Welch is back on the practice squad, so you got them both. So they kind of gambled a little bit on Welch, and we'll get to the practice squad roster here in a second. But this is one of those deals where you end up getting them both. If that makes sense. So what's y'all's take on it?
Well, to me, it just seems like kind of a Goody type guy that fits this mold, especially like I believe somebody else just commented that he's a special teams ace. Respect Oranges coming in here with saying Neiman has a 9.51 RAS, ran a 4.51 40. I mean, that to me fits pretty perfect with what we want to do here. We were all a little shocked with having only 4 linebackers on the 53. And then, it felt like we just maybe needed to bolster the special teams a little bit more. And he's a guy that maybe, with some injury could step in and actually produce. And he's got experience. I know I watched in Goody's press conference, he was talking about that he just the reason we let go of Algersma is because it sounded like, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but he said he just wasn't quite where we want him to be. He didn't have enough experience, whereas Clifford had, a little too much. This guy is kind of that sweet spot where he's been in the league. He's seen what it's like to be on an NFL roster, sees what it's like to be in the offseason, go through it. So I think he just kind of fits the bill. It does suck. I'd love to have Welch on the team, and I thought he did earn it, but I'm excited to see what this kid can do.
Yeah, and we do have the special teams grade. I'm going to go ahead and edit this article right now so everybody's got it in real time. It looks like his special teams grades were really, really solid. And like you guys pointed out, Respect Orange just points out here with the RAS, 9.5, pretty solid right there, Emilio.
Yeah, absolutely. I was looking at the tackling grade. Looks like he's pretty sure tackling besides this last year where he had, maybe an injury or something. But if he was drafted in the 6th round in 21, I would think Goody probably had a 5th or 6th, round grade on the dude. And was willing and able to, hey, if he ever pops up, put that one over in the corner in the safe bank. And if he ever pops up, let's see if we can't bring him in. And, he kept his eye on him for the next couple of years. It's just crazy to think about that. Like, drafts 5 years ago, they're still eyeing a couple players that they had later on in that draft, in the 200th picks that they still think might be somebody that checked, how they're doing in the past couple of years. And bam, dude comes available, you bring him on. But I think you're relying a lot on, Rich Bisaccia there, who's going to need a couple more linebacker bodies in special teams aspects, kickoff coverage, all that stuff. So I think it's probably the right move.
Yeah, Tim, the special teams grades here starting in 2021, and you see significant snaps here, over 300 for 3 years, and then 288 last year. But the PFF grades starting this rookie year, 81, 70, 83, 79. We got a special teams ace, looks like.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just that 70 grade in 2022 is quote unquote a down year, right? I mean, everything else looks pretty consistent, and it just goes to show that, we can have our opinions and our feelings, and, this coaching staff and this front office is going to evaluate things differently. I think a lot of us thought Christian Welch would be that guy, for sure. But clearly this was a move that they felt like needed to be made. And I'm looking forward to seeing him in green and gold, man.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jacob. If you got any other comments, I'm going to try to grab his RAS and just throw it in this article real quick as well.
Yeah, I saw that Too Old for This came out and said it's been 6 minutes into the episode and we haven't talked about Matt LaFleur's mustache. Emilio brought it up in the chat, the group chat. So let's just highlight that thing is beautiful. Donovan Schilling says Matt LaFleur got that stash from the AFM store. Shake my head. So that's the only.
Sit your butt outside.
Nick McSwain says LaFleur looking like he's not allowed within 500 yards of a school zone.
I think he had a pretty good, clean Burt Reynolds look going. I could imagine if you kept the beard all shaved down and stuff, probably looked pretty decent.
Yeah, I agree. All right,
we gotta get you to do that, Jacob. Just leave the stash. You know,
years ago, my friend. It I was having to push the ladies off too often. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I could see that. I
couldn't walk down the street.
Yeah.
Jacob,
did you also Burt Reynolds? You do the Raleigh fingers, right? You twist it up, give him a little
wax in there.
Eric called out your beard, Jacob, and said that he's got a better one than yours.
Eric Sutherland?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I cannot get this updated quick enough to get off of this topic. Okay? It is now updated. Yeah. So the RAS, this looks like an older RAS car we got here, but it looks like a 951 is what it's showing here. So really, really fast, man. 4.540, 20-yard split scored a 9.45. The 10-yard split scored a 9.63. Shuttle as well, an 8.25, and then his 3-cone scored a 9.92. So you're talking about a guy he's got burst, he's got quickness, he's got top end speed. He's also got the ability to change direction for sure. So that is the Green Bay Packer. So, all right, let's move it along here. Some other stuff. Matt Schneidman had tweeted this out earlier today. Packers didn't claim anybody and didn't have anyone they claimed. I seen somebody asking about Amar Johnson. I was curious about that as well. So they do not have Amar Johnson on the practice squad. They did keep Izzy, though. So I was completely wrong with that. I really felt like Amar Johnson played much better than Izzy. But it looks like Abanikanda is going to be the practice squad running back as of the time being. Not to say they won't bring him in later here. As coach said, I wonder why they did not keep Amar Johnson. I haven't heard. Maybe there's an injury or something. Maybe you guys have heard, but I personally haven't heard anything like that yet.
The only thing I can think of is maybe Izzy has an edge in the return game. We've seen him return. I was going to say, so special teams contribution on top of being an emergency running back.
Yeah, I thought I read something about this. As Bahan says, Amar Johnson went to be with his family. I think there was something about it. I thought it was an injury, but I'll see if I could find it real quick just to keep you all.
He says parents were sick, so
that's what it was. Okay,
family right now.
There you go. How about that, man? You get your opportunity to play professional football, and hey, look, man, mom and pops ain't feeling good. I'm gonna go take care of that. You know what I mean? It says a lot about that.
It's like Vince Lombardi said, right? God, family, and then the Green Bay Packers, right?
Right. Or as Jacob says, God, family, beard oil, then the Green Bay Packers. Right, Jacob? Do you use any beard oil on that? Is that true or no?
I used to have my own company, but yeah, then COVID happened and nobody wanted to buy stuff through the mail to put on their face. Go figure. But yeah, I used to use beard oil all the time. Now I use.
Wash your hands, wash your butt, man. That's it. That's all.
Tay told him, Jacob, didn't he?
Should have known.
Should have known.
My
daddy liked that years ago on the Cadillac.
Well, did you see Willie Lampkin got picked up by the Eagles? Pull that back up, Clay.
Oh, I done closed it out.
Okay. Well, yeah, the Chargers got him, right? So Eagles picked him up, of course. That little 5'10" center.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we pick up Kennard and they pick up him.
Last I heard, he was having a good preseason, I thought. But
yeah, I thought he was grading out really well.
Yeah. All right, Matt Schneidman also says, don't expect Kalen King back on the practice squad. He'll probably look elsewhere. So that tells me Matt Schneidman talked to either Kalen King or his representation. Sounds like he might have been a little bit sour on that. Now, he did go to Carolina, I believe, right?
Correct.
Yeah, that's what somebody just said, yeah. So he ends up with the Carolina Panthers. So even though they did sign him, I'm sure he could have chose multiple practice squads. It sounded like, according to Matt Schneidman, he did not want to be with the Packers. So probably a little bit upset he didn't make the roster there. Listen, I get it. I understand. I felt like he did enough to make the roster. You guys know how I felt about Kalen King. That was kind of my surprise was that he did not make it. So what we got here? I'm afraid to read that. I just seen meme. But anything you guys want to add to the Kalen King conversation here? Am I the only one that caught off guard?
A little bit. I was too. We talked about that in the group text earlier too, right? And if that's the case, I think there's some evidence to support the fact that, maybe Kalen, as well as a lot of us, felt like he earned a spot on that 53, and maybe getting the snub was enough to just kind of piss him off. And if he's a little salty right now and doesn't want to be here, then I'm glad he signed in Carolina. You know what I mean? Like, maybe it's just time to move on. Obviously, we feel pretty good about Micah Robinson being a practice squad guy. So, Kalen King not being on the squad is a little shocking, but, I don't know if they've got other plans and, or they wanted to bring him back and he had an attitude issue, or felt like he was snubbed. Hey, then let him move on. Right.
Packers on top said the last name King gave the franchise PTSD, obviously from Kevin King. Drew D in the chat says, I don't mind what the Packers did at corner. Yeah, I really don't either, and we haven't gotten the updated depth chart from our lads yet. I checked earlier, and so it hadn't been updated since yesterday. But how do y'all feel about that?
I also think they went with the size upside of Kamal Hadden as 6'1" over being at a rough 5'11".
Yeah, I think what Brian Ellis says is pretty key here too. He says King plays slot, Hadden plays more outside. That's the difference.
But King didn't even play that much. He only played like 50 snaps in college. I mean, I think they maybe asked him to do a little bit more in the offseason or in this preseason, but that's tough.
Yeah, the other thing we heard too is the speed, that compared to the other corners in the room, he's not quite as fast. Yeah.
Got it. All right. So there you go. Kalen King is out. It was fun while it lasted, right? So let's talk about the practice squad. This is the last I heard, and Easton Butler put this tweet out, which everybody go give him a follow, man. Great follow over on X. Give you no nonsense, good information all dead time at Easton. at Easton _ Butler. So this was as of 2:42 today. If you guys know of anything different, let me know. But full Packers practice squad quarterback Clayton Tune. This one caught me off guard. We were all going, will it be Elgersma? Will it be Sean Clifford? It ain't gonna be either. They went out and got Clayton Tune, obviously, who's been around the league for I believe a few years now, right? Is he how many years has he been in the league?
I believe it's 3.
I thought it was 2.
Third season. This is his 3rd year.
I think so, yeah.
So quarterback Clayton Tune will be your practice squad QB for the time being. We'll see how that goes. Running back Izzy Abanaconda. Then you got wide receiver Mecole Hardman. So we got Hardman back, baby. I love that. Absolutely love it. The fact that you could activate him on game day and get him up as a kick returner. If you do get in trouble at wide receiver, I feel really good about him being the 7th wide receiver on this roster. Emilio, he's a nice one to have just locked and loaded in the chamber there in case you need it, right, man? You want to pop in some speed on Madden, you still got him on the practice squad.
Absolutely. It's real quick to pull him up. You get it 3 times a year. That's a no-brainer at that point. If you can make that happen, I'm glad it worked out the way they planned it.
Yeah, and as Coach Lynn pointed out, Clayton Tune played with Golden at the university.
And he got drafted in 23. Tune did.
I think they said I read a stat that they had 7 touchdowns together. He'd throw 7 touchdowns to Matthew Golden, so that's really, really interesting for sure. So, very, very interesting signing there. So again, Mecole Hardman, wide receiver. You also got wide receiver Isaiah Nair. Love that. And then look at your boy Tim, wide receiver Will Shepherd on the practice squad.
Colorado Buffaloes, baby. Let's go.
Jacob, what do you think about those 3 wide receivers, man? Is there somebody you would have rather them have, or do you feel good about those 3 on the practice squad?
No, honestly, I didn't think this. We talked yesterday. I thought it was Tim made me pick 2 players that I wish I could sneak on, and I said Nair and Shepherd. I never thought that we'd actually get Mecole Hardman back on a practice squad. So the 3 of them together, I mean,
3 receivers on the practice squad is kind of a surprise, right?
Yeah, but as when we cover down the future in this episode, there may be a reason for that. But it's just nice to know that in case we have to break glass, and in case of emergency, that we've got some guys that I've actually shown quite a lot of flashes, especially one that has a lot of experience, which is something not a lot of teams probably have the luxury of.
No, I completely agree there, man.
I'm sure down the stretch, you're not going to feel bad about having Mecole Hardman, within your locker room, right?
Yeah,
definitely. Moving along, offensive tackle, they went with Brant Banks and Dalton Cooper. Love the fact that Brant Banks made it to the practice squad. Again, I thought he showed a lot of promise in preseason, so that's one we kind of talked about a little bit yesterday. Emilio, how do you feel about those tackles? Are you good with that? Do you wish they had signed someone else, or is it kind of odd that we only have 2 offensive linemen on the practice squad, seeing that we only carried 9 on the active roster, right? If I remember correctly.
Yeah. I'll just say, Goody, first thing he said was, yeah, it was tough that we lost Glove. He was going to be an important part for the team there.
I don't remember hearing that.
He did. I wrote it down in my notes.
I needed to mention that. So,
yeah,
it was tough that we lost my man. But, yeah, I think you're right. You're kind of diving into the tackle a little bit. Just, on rotation, can they flex? Can they play in the guard? And I think that we've got enough. That's why you kind of keep Donovan Jennings in there, more the inside guy. So you want to have a little bit more backup at tackle, just in case of injury or anything like that. But hopefully that means good things for, Aaron Banks, so that his back is in good shape and the inside's kind of in good shape as well.
Got it. All right. Up next, defensive line. Tim, we kept Deslin Alexander, James Esther, and Aaron Mosby. I know we had talked about
yes. Let's go.
I know you were excited about Deslin Alexander, right? He seemed to have a good camp while you were over there, and what you've seen. You feel pretty good about that?
Actually, I got to give the credit to my wife. Mrs. G was the one who said, what's up with 49 over here? Looks pretty good. And we've been watching him ever since. Jacob was at the game with us, on Saturday. We saw it, up close and personal. I think he definitely deserves a spot on this practice squad for sure.
Gotta love our viewers, man, our listeners, bringing the important facts here. Brian Ellis in the chat says, I think he meant Neiman, right? Neiman, does he got an N or no? It doesn't. Right, Neiman comes from a football family. His dad was Lucas Van Ness's position coach at Iowa. Learned that today and thought it was neat. That's a great factor. So really cool. Again, we're building a team, not collecting talent, right? So important to get these guys in there. They're going to have a little bit invested in each other and want to play for one another and have these personal ties, whether it be half the damn teams from Georgia or, in this case, you get a couple Hawkeyes. Really cool. So Schefter sucks, not an insider, says shocked that Mosby and Alexander didn't get claimed.
It's Schlefter.
Yeah, I believe that's Elijah Gwynn's new.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Elijah got.
Oh, that's the one who started all that drama last night.
That was hilarious, man. The chat lit up. Michael Parsons is a Packer. I was like,
I love it.
It's happening.
That's a great point on the comment, though, right? Kind of surprised that at least one of those two didn't get claimed. That's awesome. They both cleared.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Definitely. And just real quick, back to Dalton Cooper. He was a 206.7 on the board, East-West Shrine game, cheese emoji, and a target emoji.
Ooh.
Oh, there we go. I think we're on to something with that draft, boys.
That is.
We don't have that picture anymore, though.
Which one?
The picture of Cooper.
No, wasn't that Bay? Wasn't he the center from Arkansas State?
Oh, that's what I'm thinking of. Okay. Yeah.
How about this guy?
No.
No, he was trying to move that guy.
How about this guy?
Here's the guy.
That's the man right there.
Man, somebody get that guy some clippers, man.
That's going to be the go-to response for me for anything the Packers put up about Matthew Golden.
Is it just me, or does that look like a young version of Craig's dad on Friday? Yeah. Anybody take a stinking? It's going to be me. All right, moving along. Linebacker Jamin Johnson and our boy Christian Welch. Really excited about that, man. I think Christian Welch is going to get called up a couple times this year. So I feel good about those. Was there a linebacker that maybe caught us off guard? Do you think we made a mistake not bringing Isaiah Simmons onto the practice squad? Because me personally, I just never seen it, man. I just didn't. And I wanted it. I wanted it to work, man. Anytime you get a chance to get a top 10 pick for a minimum contract, you feel good about it. But it was rough.
Yeah. I agree with that. Like Tim said, we saw him in person on Saturday, and it just kind of seemed underwhelming. And I actually, I've been kind of more impressed with Jamon Johnson than I thought I'd be. He hasn't, been flashy and hasn't really gotten his name called a lot, but he just seems like he's a guy that could maybe come in there and maybe impress people, not maybe right away, but just like Packers on top saying, Jamon Pop Dumas Johnson, my Kentucky legend. So
there you go, man. Love it. All right, DBs, Jalen Simpson and Jonathan Baldwin. Emilio, how do you feel about that, man?
I like Baldwin. I'm glad we brought him back. More of a safety, right? But I do like that move. And Jalen Simpson, hopefully that he can keep showing out. I think it might have been Omar if he was healthy, but hope he gets better. We didn't need to go crazy. I think it's better to have a backup safety or two because we have everything else going on in the corner room with 6 of them in there. I think you're kind of, and we're going to have 3 of our safeties on the field most of the time. So you're going to want to have a little bit of backup there.
I agree.
Yeah, 2-0 for this says the name Jamin makes me think of Rush Hour. Jamin Lee. I'll think about what Rush Hour. Wasn't that the one where they had the little Asian dude that said, "It's fried rice, you blick"?
Yes.
That thing? God, it's such a good movie, man. It's such a good movie. So, and a shout out to Jerry. Left a YouTube comment after the show yesterday and was like, she agreed with Jacob. Clayton has got to watch Ferris Bueller's Day Off. So,
yeah, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah.
Facts.
All right. And then, of course, we got Mark McNamee as the international pathway player. All right. Now, he did denote this is not official, but reported. So we'll keep our eye on this. I think there's a chance that, God, who is the DB we just got through talking about? Micah Robinson. If you could have Micah Robinson on this practice squad within 24 hours instead of a Jalen Simpson or a Jonathan Baldwin, I'm going with that personally. Yeah. But I don't know how y'all feel about that. I would much rather see him replace one of those 2 DBs in that regard. So
I agree 100%. And if Omar Brown was in better physical condition, we might be having a different conversation about that extra safety, right? So I would agree with that.
Yeah, definitely. J. Cole in the chat says, it's funny you seen Friday before Ferris Bueller's Day. Hey, man, I had a couple.
That's my job.
Had a couple buddies growing up back home, small town, but we they were brothers, and they were like, your white ass ain't never seen a movie like this. We need to sit down. We need to watch Friday. That's exactly what they said, and I was hooked. Such a good movie. One of my top 5 movies, man.
Classic.
Absolutely. Ferris Bueller's becoming popular too recently.
I've heard about that.
Yeah.
That movie's older than you, Emilio. How have you seen it before Clayton? That's
a classic. Yeah. That is
yeah. Another one everybody tells me to watch is, oh God, what is it? Trying to think. What's the name of it? It's a comedy about knights.
A Knight's Tale?
No, not a Knight's Tale there, buddy.
Night at the Roxbury?
Unbelievable.
Yeah, we're off track for sure. It'll come.
It's the one with Jack Black, isn't it?
No, it's not. There's a scene where a knight gets like all of his. It's merely a flesh wound. What's the name of that?
Oh, Monty Python.
Monty Python. Throw for this guy. Yeah, everybody's like, you gotta watch that. I still haven't seen it. So
my! You and Mandy, this Labor Day weekend, you two need to have a movie day and catch up on some of these.
Mandy's probably seen all these. She probably has. Like when she says I'm a stick in the mud, she is not kidding. Now, Carl Ward's on one right here. Harlem Night.
Yeah.
Another one, dude.
Classic.
Top 10, maybe top 5. Yeah.
You want to see a movie with like some of the greatest comedians of all time, all in one cast. Watch Harlem Nights for sure.
Better watch it quick. You with a heavyweight.
You just go shoot me in my pinky toe, huh?
Go ahead. The way he looks at everybody, they go, all right. Don't worry, Vera. We're going to find your toe. Have you seen it, Emilio?
No.
Harlem Nights.
Oh, my gosh.
It's been a while, but it's good.
Oh, it's so good, man. Yeah, so good. My brother came in on military leave from Iraq, or not Iraq, but Saudi Arabia in the early 90s. And he was like, you want to sit down and watch a funny movie with me? Yep, it was Harlem Nights. So I was like 9 years old. It was awesome. Unbelievable. So, all right. There you go.
You are a sick man. No Country for Old Men is pretty funny. Wait a minute.
Jeez.
Hold on.
Anything else on the practice squad, Jance? Anything at all? Good?
Oh, I think we're good.
All right, let's move it along here to some practice updates. Let's lead off with what I think is the most important news of the day out of practice. As I was listening to the Homer Hour, and he had Jason Wilde on there toward the back end of the show, and Jason Wilde, to the best of my knowledge, is the first that reported this. If you guys know of anyone else who reported it before him, I'd love to give him credit. But Wilde said Jaden Reed's injury is a Jones fracture and will most likely be a factor this season. Reed returned to practice, Packers practice today. So looking into that, man, I've seen everywhere from 2 to 6 weeks to 3 to 6 months recovery.
Bottom line, me no likey that bird.
Yeah, and they said I heard someone else say that it's very, very difficult for it to kind of repair itself, to heal itself because of the lack of blood flow. It's a bone close to the pinky toe. So ironically, right, we just got through talking about Vera's pinky. But so the fact that he's out there, though, I think that says a lot about Jaden Reed, but that's something they're going to really, really have to monitor, I would imagine. I mean, Wilde sounded very, very like his tone came down and everything. Like this is probably going to be an issue this season. So
it's not going to get better, right? The more that he runs on it, it's not going to improve.
Right.
It's already difficult spot on your foot to have an injury like that. It already takes long enough to heal, let alone running and cutting and playing football on it. So I've seen some of the fan base saying, well, why not just, send him to IR and get the surgery done now and let him, recover and, rehab. But if he wants to make it a go, we've seen players do this before, right? There is precedent for guys playing through a Jones fracture in recent memory. So if anyone can do it, I think it's Jay Reed for sure, but it's going to be tough.
Judy asked, how long has Reed been hurt? To the best of my knowledge, Drew, the first I heard about it, you guys remember there was a practice and they said he had a problem with his shoe. His shoe was bothering him. Y'all remember that? His cleat was bothering him?
And then we had him in a boot a couple days later, right?
Right, yeah. And I remember Jason Wilde said on his show, something seems off because Jaden Reed wouldn't answer questions. I don't want to be the one to say something, out of line here on the injury. And he was like, I don't like the sound of that. And there were some people like, oh, well, he's just overreacting. No, he wasn't overreacting. He picked up on that pretty quick. So, that's that absolutely sucks. So anything else you guys, I want to say this though, Dontavion Wicks, you see him back here, right behind Jaden Reed as well. So he obviously returned to practice today. That's a great sign to get him back for sure. So we're starting to get a little bit healthier, I feel like. But
I like what Holmes says there. Those fractures are at high risk for malunion. That's true. If you don't have the surgery,
what is that?
Yeah, I was going to ask, what does that mean?
Not united, not connected.
Gotcha.
I'm assuming that's what that means.
Probably from the lack of blood flow we talked about too, because
absolutely.
Yep. So I don't know. Prayers up for Bird, right?
Yeah. Some other players that had Jones fracture. Derrick Henry had one. Des Bryant, Debo had it in 2020. Christian Wilkins just had one in 24. Kool-Aid McKinstry, that was what he had.
That's who I was thinking of.
Okay. There we go.
Played through the Jones fracture, and everyone was talking about his 40 time. And then we found out that the dude ran his 40 with a Jones fracture and didn't say anything. So
Doc in the chat says poor healing due to blood flow or lack thereof.
But they had enough confidence to not put him on, IR or, anything like that. Like they didn't put him on a 4-week IR. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Drew D says Larry McCarron had a pinky with malunion. There you go. So I think we have.
How about these hands?
Yeah, that'll do it.
I got you.
I need the Jones fracture. That's the James fracture or something right there.
That's the rock fracture right there.
Yeah, there you go. All right. So the rest of the injury report, if you will, from practice, and it sounds like they're probably going to have the weekend off. I think I don't know if they took the team picture today, but that should be here in the next 24 to 48 hours. And then they'll probably have the weekend off and then come right back to work on Monday. And it's go time, right? So Rob Demovsky, Jaden Reed with the foot, Dontavion Wicks with the calf, Aaron Banks with the back injury, Elton Jenkins with the back, and Xavier McKinney all practicing today. So the one that you notice that's not on that list, Nate Hobbs with the knee, Zane Anderson knee, Savion Williams with the hammy, and Barron Sorrell with the knee. So Nate Hobbs, we knew it was going to be kind of sliding in at the last second at the finish line for week 1 for him to be healthy. Emilio, are you concerned about Nate Hobbs at this point? Because to me, this feels like this is kind of right on schedule. I didn't expect him to just jump right back into practice immediately.
Right. No, I'm not too worried. We still have that he's still a week and a half away-ish. Get another weekend to heal. And even if he's not completely ready for week 1, you might only get him 15, 20 snaps anyway if he's coming in a little bit hurt. So I'm not too worried about it.
BTA.
Absolutely.
All right, there you go. So anything else you guys want to hit on in terms of the injury report here? Because I know, Tim, Dontavion Wicks with the calf, he obviously returned. Aaron Banks, that's the big one for me. I think that's huge that he's back in the fold. And obviously Xavier McKinney, we've been seeing this coming for well over a week now, right?
I agree. I think X and Aaron Banks were the two that I was really looking forward to seeing back out there, right? I mean, Aaron Banks has been dealing with that back for the better part of the last month, right? So to see him back out there, that makes you feel good about your O-line. And then obviously X going to give it to you, right? The captain of the back end of that defense, really good to see him practicing and not just, running red line and rehab stuff. So, and I think you're right. The, Hobbs, Zane, Savion Williams and Mr. Sorrell, we all knew what was going on with that. It's just going to take time. Nate Hobbs is the one to watch, right? Because he was the one that he had that issue, and they went ahead and did the cleanup right away. And so we're just waiting for him to, get cleared to play, right?
Yeah.
And what all this spells here, really, Ron Sample says Jenkins and Banks back is huge.
Yep.
Think about this: you get Elton Jenkins and Aaron Banks back, right? You're still missing Savion Williams. To me, this kind of all right. Your offensive line is pretty much completely healthy now, right? We're about to run the hell out of the rock early in the season, boys. It's coming. There's going to be a lot of duo action, I believe, and most likely out of 12 personnel.
With 4 tight ends. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So it's going to be the Josh Jacobs show, and I can't wait for it, man. Anything else on these injuries right here specifically? Anything at all y'all want to hit on?
No, I think it is interesting, though, that as much as I was scratching my head about the Nate Hobbs signing, I'm really excited to get him back because I just feel like what we've seen from him. I saw maybe a couple people saying they haven't been wild on him in the chat, but to me, I feel the opposite. I felt like the intensity and just the physicalness that he's bringing to this secondary is something that I've been longing for a very long time. And if we got a couple of dogs back there, like you see the types of attitudes that guys like Hobbs, Keyshawn, Carrington, and now with the kind of veteran leadership. I mean, I even throw Evan Williams in there. He seems very, very scrappy. And then you got a guy that's kind of leading the charge, and obviously X. That is a group that could be pretty fearful, man.
Yeah,
I agree. I think Nate Hobbs fits in real well in that cornerback room. Definitely.
Yeah. Donovan Schilling in the chat bringing out the strap. He says 180 in here watching live on YouTube and only 34 likes. Come on. You're a Bears fan if you don't hit like. So appreciate that, Donovan. You guys would just take a quick second. We hate to ask, but it helps more than you know. Hit that like button for us. If you're new here, subscribe, click the bell icon. That way you're notified as we go live daily as we're closing in on week 1, man. It's gonna
Get ready to go.
It's going to be a blast this year. So this is good news, I feel like. Jordan Love, a full participant for the first time since the thumb surgery. Will play
look at that. He's taking snaps. Let's go.
Still got the bandage
using
on.
both hands.
Taking snaps. That's right.
Perfect. Keep the bandage on for however long you want. I really don't care.
I think it looks badass to me.
Yeah.
I mean, chicks dig scars, right? Go out there like you all bandaged up. Yeah.
That's Joe Flacco 101 right there.
That's right. Look at that. Seriously.
The car fake there. I like it. Let's go.
I look like my Uncle Ray right there in the front balancing his checkbook, too. I don't know who that guy was walking through. You might know who that is, Tim, right here. Who is this old gentleman right there? Who is that?
Oh, that's our equipment guy. It's hard to see. It was kind of a quick flash.
Old man equipment guy. Let's see if we can get it like this.
Yeah, he's an OG. Yeah. I believe that's one of our equipment managers.
The two-tone. Yeah, it's a good look.
That's right, he is, man. Got that shirt tucked in. He's out there for business. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Jacob said, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hey, when you got the good slacks on, you got to tuck the shirt in, man. You got to.
See.
Yeah. This looks like, who's the guy on King of the Hill? The bald
Dale?
Fan. Dale. Is it Dale? Is that who we're thinking? Yeah, I think it is
Or
Dale.
Bill, right? Bill Dozer. Bill.
Yep. There you go. I love that Jacob knows every character on King of the Hill. It's absolutely hilarious. So anyway, how are we feeling about Jordan, boys? You think we're good to go here? Any concerns at all? Or do you think I still think they need to be a little bit careful. Don't get too crazy, as obviously you want that to heal up just from the incision, right? I mean, that's something that you want to kind of protect a little bit.
I would agree.
Right.
You don't want an infection or something, right? Or it's a open back up or anything crazy. So I would agree.
Yeah, I agree with what Tim said. Just be cautious. But to me, it's more the way that his legs are moving and looking like that. To me, looks like he's ready to go. Not to quote the Bears coach, but
get ready to go.
Shout out to Matt Schneiden for all those videos that he took.
I'm just happy he was taking snaps under center and everything like that. That's huge.
Yes.
Here's a look at Dontavion Wicks from Matt Schneiden. So Wicks could be listen, man, people forget how damn good he was his rookie year. You know, he struggled last year. Make no two bones about it. But man, if he can come out and be somewhere in between last year, we had a 65 PFF grade, and the year before, I think he was a 77, I believe. And his yak, his rookie year, was unbelievable. So if you can get him involved early, maybe that will allow you to press into 11 a little more than what we're anticipating. Because as we pointed out, man, all of our Chalk Talk episodes last year, when we broke down the plays of the year and did a special Chalk Talk show on that, every single play on offense was out of 11 personnel. That's not a coincidence, man.
Yeah.
That's how you can really, really attack defenses for sure. So
what a great time for Tay Wicks to, get back on track, right? Considering what we just talked about with Jaden Reed. Like if there's, a chance that Bird's going to miss any time, having Tay Wicks step up and get the hot hands again would be great timing in this offense.
Yeah, completely agree. All right, so there's a little injury update. Let me make sure. Here's let's see if Rob had anything to say here. Go ahead and read that super chat, Jake.
Yeah, Josh Martin in the super chat. Appreciate that, buddy. He says, realistically, what would you consider a great season for Love statistically, team-wise for LaFleur and Goot?
That's a great question.
5 million yards, 5 million touchdowns,
I've got
0 interceptions.
You guys know how I do this every year team-wise. I give you a low number and a high number. I think I'm expecting 10 to 13 wins for the Packers. The closer you get to 13, obviously it was an absolutely great season. In terms of Jordan Love, what I want to see is I want to see him flirting with the 30 touchdown mark or surpassing it while keeping it under 10 interceptions. If we protect the football in the passing game and continue to press into the run like we did last year, play action should be more effective from underneath center now that the knee's healthy. Matthew Golden, if he continues to build off what we've seen in camp, I don't think there's any reason why Jordan Love couldn't be closer to 40 touchdowns while keeping it under 10 interceptions. You just got to clean up the picks. You got to do that. And again, last year he battled 3 different injuries. I got you. I understand all that. But that's how you get closer to 13 wins as opposed to that 10. But what do you guys think? How would y'all answer that? That's a great question, Josh. Thank you, buddy.
I'd say 3,700 yards passing, under 10 to 12 interceptions, somewhere around 30 tuds, and not afraid to pull the ball down and run. So maybe like 200 or 300 yards rushing.
I like it.
I would agree with that.
What about
I think as long as he's under as long as the picks are in the single digits, I'm happy.
Yeah, that would be great.
What did you ask, Emilio? Sorry.
What about the team? Where do you think we're heading?
Well, I think I'd still say between 10 to 13 wins would something that I think would be feasible. I would hope for more, but realistically, I think 10 to 13 wins.
14-3, book it. Let's go.
Every year. Let's go.
Yeah.
I'd probably say 11, 12 wins for the team. I think we need to get win the North would be, basically ideal, but we need to get 2 or 3 rounds into the playoffs for sure. I think that, if we get, if we don't win the North and make the playoffs, all right, fine, but we got to win that game for sure. If we make win the North, make the playoffs, win that game, ideally win the second game. NFC Championship would be pretty much a good season, for us. That means we're progressing. That means we're getting better. I would want to see us being able to try to reach that.
Love it.
And for Jordan, 40, under 12, and over 4,000, hopefully like 4,500.
All right.
Yeah, the closer you get to 40, you can tolerate that
pick.
10 plus, right?
Yeah.
Get a little over 10. I agree with that completely.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's going to be interesting, man, for sure. So one last little note here. It kind of goes hand in hand with what we talked about. Rob Demoski tweeted out, Jordan Love still has his surgically repaired left thumb protected with a brace/tape. But he took snaps from under center and out of the gun for the first time since surgery. So there's a step in the right direction. Still handed off with his right hand only. Didn't do the drill where they're punching at the ball. So everything we said, take it a little easy there. Obviously, they're still taking all precautionary measures there. So
I think that first shot that he takes to that hand in a game, we're gonna get a good idea of how serious it might still be, right?
Yeah. Do you guys mind if I do a couple chats just to clean up some segments we had earlier?
let's do it,
So
man.
Bates, always our resident Jamie, says, I believe that was Brian Naring, the equipment
Nice.
team manager, which I think Tim alluded
Not
to there.
Larry David.
Not,
like
I
somebody
saw
put
that.
in the chat. How dare you?
I love it. Bates is the one that can do. Listen, I won't give too much details, but Bates probably did a full background check just now. I'll just leave it at that. Go ahead.
Yeah. Real quick, Holmes MD is saying that sutures heal usually in 10 to 14 days. He says the incision should be or is closed by now. So that's good information here.
That's
And just a
good news.
random fun fact, Jim H is saying it looks like Myers may win the New York Jets starting center job. So
Dog.
My Papa Bailey could win that job. He's been dead since '86. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be honest. But I do wish Myers all the best. Seriously, that's got to be tough to go to the Jets on a 1-year deal. You know what I mean? And there's almost no guaranteed money. He's got to be like, boy, might be calling Kentucky games soon, So, but wish him nothing but the best for sure. Anything else, Jacob? Is that all of them? Good.
That's pretty much it. Yep. Other than wishing Donovan a happy birthday, he says he shares it with Matt Ramage. So congrats.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Donovan and Matt Ramage for sure.
There you go. All right, let's shift gears. The topic of the day. Tim, you want to take a break? We're going to get into a little Micah Parsons talk.
Hey guys, I'm going home.
All right, now, so obviously, well, here we go. Let's hit the super chat real quick. Go ahead, Jacob, read it.
Yeah, Randy Steen says, off topic, but with his ability to come back to the ball and his high IQ, I'm looking forward to seeing how Golden does during scramble drills. How about y'all? That's a great point.
Mm-hmm. That's what Jacob lives on when he plays Madden. Dude does not know how to hit a route in timing.
Just let them finish the route, run around the back as long as they can, and then they'll finally break off. Nothing more frustrating, though, than you scrambling right, somebody sitting over in a curl, and they just don't move. You're like, fuck.
Put the team on my back.
Perfect.
Out here. No, I think that's it. I agree. I think that's a good point, Randy. To me, Golden, some guys just kind of get it. It seems like he gets the game kind of comes natural to him. He doesn't look like some guys, they overthink it. You can see it. I felt like Dobby did that a little bit early. I want to say maybe that's kind of what Wicks does. Wicks is probably overthinking it a little bit too much. You watch him run a route and you're like, he's brilliant, right? And then when the ball gets thrown to him, it's almost like, I don't want to say panics, but he's just thinking too much. Golden's smooth. I could see him on the scramble drill being one of those top receivers.
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, absolutely. Let me ask you this. What do you think Golden's going to have yardage-wise in the first month of the season? Just the first month.
First month?
Because I was listening to, I want to say it was either the PFF or the Athletic podcast. They were rattling off some guys that had, chunks of yardage in their first month, and I was just kind of seeing what you thought maybe for them.
Yeah, so the first 4 games, just a quick little preview here. We've got the Detroit Lions at home. And thank you for the super chat, Randy. Appreciate you so much, buddy. Get the Detroit Lions at home in week 1, then a short turnaround there, Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime against the Washington Commanders. Then you go on the road to Cleveland. They've got a pretty good defense. I know overall their team has been kind of bad, but I want to say their defense is pretty stout. And then you go to Jerry World week 4. So it's a great question, Emilio. I'm gonna go out and say I think Golden will have I think he's going to be somewhere around between 200 to 250 yards receiving it within the first 4 weeks.
Yeah, I was going to say around 250, maybe like 3 tuds. Shown enough on film where people will start to kind of taking notice of who he is, but I think they'll just. I want to say that he's going to get a lot of playing time quick, but we've seen in years past that if Wicks is all of a sudden stepping up, and if Reed does have a little more left in him than we think, then they may not just throw him right into the mix early. You know what I mean? How they kind of seem to let guys come along gradually throughout the year, but I think 200 to 250 is quite reasonable.
Okay,
Tim.
What about you, Tim?
500, yeah,
5 million yards.
500 yards, 8 tutters.
Because I want to say it was like Malik Neighbors. It was a couple of like really young studs, and their average was right around like 250 to 300 yards in their first month as a rookie. Coming out there, being able to put that on tape immediately, being able to put that on the field immediately, no matter the coverage, no matter what you're seeing. So that's kind of what I was just testing the waters on where y'all thought where he would maybe be at.
Got it. So what was your number again, Emilio? What did you say?
I think he could push 300 yards. I really do. He could have a game and go off. If you get him in one 100-yard game, he's probably on track to break 300. But I would be happy with over 250. We're on track for him being a big boost for this offense.
That's a great point, because Matt Golden could have 100+ yards on 2 or 3 catches, the way that
very true.
What we've seen. So that's totally realistic.
I mean, think about that, guys. If he does come out in the first 4 games and he has over 400 yards, you're talking about a guy that's on pace to. I mean, what would he finish the year with? Let's just say 300 yards, right? If he's got 300 yards the first 4 games, he's on pace for a 1,200-yard season as a rookie. I mean, that would break the rookie record. I think Sterling Sharp has a rookie yards record, I believe, right? I think Jaden Reed broke the rookie reception record, I think. I could be wrong there. You guys correct me if I'm wrong. But anyway, it's going to be fun, though, man. As you can see the schedule, dude, we're getting close, man. That week 1 slate is going to be absolutely awesome, as you can see. I love how they've broken this down over at Nerding on NFL as well. I mean, listen, we got college football tomorrow, college football Friday, college football Saturday. We got high school football in between as well. And then Sunday, I think Sunday and Monday, we got college football too. And then the very next Thursday, right, Thursday of next week, you've got the Cowboys going into Philly. The Eagles probably without Micah Parsons, whether he's been traded or not, he probably won't play in that game, I would imagine. So then you got the Chiefs at the Chargers on Friday night, and then here comes the Sunday slate, man. It's going to be absolutely awesome. You got Aaron Rodgers going back into Jet Life Stadium to show Aaron Glenn who's boss and why he shouldn't have disrespected him when he came in and took that job. If you guys didn't hear that story, go look it up.
When they made Aaron fly all the way out there just to
tell him,
to kick rocks, crazy.
Yeah. Hey, listen. There's one thing Aaron does well. It's hold a grudge. So I think he's if they don't go out there and speak the snot out of the Jets, it's not going to be because he didn't want to. I promise you that. He's going to be up for that game.
Yep.
Just looking around some of the other games, that Tampa Bay at Atlanta might be a good one too. I'm trying to think if there's any other.
You got 2 first-round edge players in Atlanta. You got Jalen Walker and you got James Pierce Jr. So let's see what they have up front there. I think that's going to be pretty interesting against Baker. And even
Ravens Bills.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yep.
That's a good slate. I mean, the AI did a good job picking that schedule this year.
I mean, look at that. You're going to have Thursday night, Friday night. You'll get to just relax for the 1 o'clock hour and watch a ton of games. 8 games is what I'm showing there? Yeah, 8 different games in the 1 o'clock hour. And then we get to the 4 o'clock window. Obviously, that's when the Packers are going to play at 4:25. And then look at the Sunday night game, the Sunday night game of the week, Baltimore Ravens at the Buffalo Bills.
Dude, and then the Monday night. Yeah.
Monday night, we get to just hope both of these teams fall flat on their ass. The Minnesota Vikings, that's the Chicago Bears. It's going to be awesome.
The fact that the first NFL game is 8 days away.
Let's go.
Crazy.
Yeah.
The fact that the Vikings got 2 international games back-to-back this year and we got 0, I love it.
There you go.
Oh, did you guys by chance listen to Ryan's pod this morning where he went through how many recent Bears picks they've already cut? Guys that were only 1 or 2 years late. Same with the Vikings. They've just been throwing draft capital down the drain, and I hate to see it.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
All right, there you go. Let's talk a little Micah Parsons. So I heard something earlier today. They had Gabe Neitzel on in place of Tauscher today, and he said live on the air that he would trade 3 first-round picks and Rashawn Gary for Micah Parsons.
Golly.
And I said, Lord have mercy if I lost my mind. So I put a poll question out there on Twitter. Now, notice I didn't include Gary, so I know it would be no with Gary, but I thought 3 first-rounders is too rich for me. So I left Gary off this. We know if it's 3 first-rounders and Gary, this would have been tilted way in the opposite direction, right? Here was the poll question I put up. Packer fans, would you trade 3 first-round picks for Micah Parsons? 53% said yes.
What?
On Twitter out of 2,120 votes.
It's a good sample size.
Yeah, and I did the same vote in here on our YouTube channel. We've got 114 votes. Gotta love our viewers. 71% said no in here. Absolutely not. So obviously I would have voted no as well. I think is there anyone here that would have voted yes to that? I don't think there is. Is there or no?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, we live in the discount clearance aisle, Clay. I wouldn't see that being the take.
So I had this one dude that I have never talked to before on X.
I saw that. That was great.
Who?
Right? Yeah, probably Omer, one of his 75 burners. But
don't worry, nobody's listening anyway.
I simply said, the point I'm making is these picks turn into players. So if you're saying you would trade 3 first-round picks, and you're saying you would trade Matthew Golden, right? That was our most recent first-round pick, right? You would trade Lucas Van Ness. Let's say Matthew Golden, Jordan Morgan, Lucas Van Ness, and Rashawn Gary for Micah Parsons. Who is doing that trade? Now, immediately people were like, no way, I wouldn't trade Matthew Golden. That was a first-round pick. That's a perfect example. So immediately this dude shifted the conversation. No, but I would trade Eric Stokes, Darnell Savage, He picked the worst first round pick. Right? But that ain't how it works.
From not back-to-back years, yeah.
Yeah, it is. And I said, okay, cool. They said, well, you can't count Golden because we don't even know what we have there yet, as if that adds value to him. I'm like, what? So with that being said, I said, well, okay, let's just go random too. Okay, how about Jordan Love? Jordan Love, Rashawn Gary, and Lucas Van Ness. Would you do that? That's crazy, right? Like,
how
seriously.
dare you?
Unbelievable. So I don't understand that whole mindset. As Clint, the armchair quarterback, gave us 20 spot. Thank you for the dono there. And he says, I have a Parsons headache. Now we know Tim, that's his burner.
That is not my burner. Stop
it. Get you your money back.
Stop it.
He was the best guy around.
I thought that was real interesting. Now, listen, there was more information coming in. Listen, Goody spoke earlier. We're gonna hear what he had to say about the whole situation. But this was interesting that the Packers chose to do a little trolling themselves. Made me feel a lot better about my tweet last night. The signing you've all been waiting for. And it was Matt Orzik, obviously, getting the 3-year extension. So, I love the fact that they're having a little bit of fun with it. But Matt Schneidman was on with Pat McAfee earlier today. Tim, if you'll get me some kind of elongated screenshot, give me that Lions kicker. That's what I need in my life.
Oh, yeah.
That's dandy right there.
Dang.
There you go. That way Jacob can feel seductive right now. Okay, so this was Matt Schneidman on with Pat McAfee, okay? Just talking about it. This is about 1:55 long. Here's what Schneidman had to say about the whole situation.
We just talked to Jane about Micah.
Maybe an F-bomb. Don't know if there is. If so, get the kids out of the room just in case.
Whoops. Ty came on the show earlier. Send him 3 ones. Give him $45 million a year.
So Ty Schmidt, Packer fan, said 3 ones, $45 million a year. He would do that deal. Of course, keep in mind, this is the guy that went on a cussing rampage when they drafted Jordan Love. Now all of a sudden he loves him. But that's a story for another day.
Let's get Micah to Green Bay, Wisconsin. How is that conversation there? Is it a reality? Like, what are the thoughts on that becoming a thing for the people that actually know what's going on over there, like yourself?
Yeah, I think right now, to my knowledge, Jerry's not even listening to trade offers, so I'm not sure that an actual trade offer can be made unless he picks up the phone. So the Packers may have, an outline of what they would offer, but if Jerry Jones isn't listening to legitimate trade offers, then I'm not sure that one is technically on the table. It's semantics, but if he does entertain it, from what I've heard, the Packers will be interested and will be in the mix, which, look, it's information, but it's not a surprise. If you think back to 2018, and Ty knows this, the Packers aren't, normally in the mix on these big name trades, and you don't really always see them get in the mix around the trade deadline. But the Packers finished second place to the Bears for Khalil Mack in 2018, and they were barely outbid. Brian Gutekunst. So
somebody brought this up earlier. I want to mention this about the Khalil Mack. You can drop it down for just a second if you want, Tim. The Khalil Mack trade, that worked out for the Bears. They ended up winning in division.
Yeah.
Okay. What happened after that? We're going to just not mention what happened after all those picks were gone, right? They went right back into the dark ages, if you'll remember, right?
You guys remember that deal Dallas had with Herschel Walker?
Oh, yeah, way back in the day, yeah.
And who benefited the most from that deal? The Vikings or the Cowboys, right?
Exactly. And listen, there's all kinds of different examples of these type of trades. I just wanted to mention that people use that like it's an art, like it's proven their point. I'm like, you don't understand. That's actually going completely against the argument that you should do this. That did not work out for the Bears. Like, they got Khalil Mack. Yes, they won a division, but did it get them a championship like everybody's talking about, right? And we'll get what Goody said here in a minute about the whole, one player away comment here shortly. But all right, Tim, give me that screen grab again. We'll finish this out.
It's a couple times in his career, that being, the biggest instance, has been willing to offer a first-round pick for a veteran player. In some instances, it just hasn't panned out, and other teams have outbid them. So this is kind of an eerily similar situation where it's right before the season, as the Khalil Mack trade was. It's for a edge rusher in the prime of his career, and it would really take the Packers to the next level. What would it take if this were to become a reality? It would be multiple first-round picks at least, and I think a player like a wide receiver. I'm not sure they would have to give up any edge rushers, but it might be a player like a Romeo Dobbs or a Dontavian Wicks. Plus,
okay, so first of all, very vague. Multiple first-round picks. Didn't say how many, just multiple. Okay. I mean, what does multiple mean? Would that mean at least 2, more than 2? How would y'all take that? What's the actual definition of multiple?
2 or more, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So he's saying, let's pretend like he's saying 2 first-round picks. 2 first-round picks and Romeo Dobbs, plus something else he said to get Micah Parsons. Would you guys do that? Just a quick yes or no?
No.
No?
Hell no.
There you go. Okay, just making sure. So again, that's what he said there about that. Now, Goody was asked. You can go ahead and pull it down there, Tim. We might want to put a Goody. Give me the. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, Gangster Goot. Let's
Gangster
go.
Goot.
Borrow the do-rag from Jacob. Love it.
Emilio, get your picture ready. I'm just waiting for it to load up in here. So Goody was asked earlier today in his presser. This is about 2 minutes long. All right. Hopefully the audio is up loud enough. I can't do anything. I can't make it any louder than it is, gang. So I apologize for that. But he was asked in a roundabout way about trading for a premier player. So they didn't ask about Micah Parsons because he won't answer on Micah Parsons because he's not allowed to openly talk about players on other teams at pressers. Okay. But listen to his answer here, and I love how he quoted Ted Thompson too. Let's see what everybody thinks about this.
You got to, first of all, it's your team and how certainly every decision affects your football team. There's so many different factors in it. Who the player is, medical, certainly, cap wise. But yeah, I think, you have to look at everything. Any opportunity to help your football team, you have to look at and discuss as a group. And we do that all the time. I mean, we do, it's almost daily, you know what I mean? I think what someone might consider a bold move, someone else might not, you know what I mean? We signed a practice squad guy today. I might consider that a bold move, you know what I mean? Somebody else might not. So, I think every opportunity that's out there to help your football team, we've always taken a look at, how to see how it affects us right now, how does it affect us in the future, and make the best decision we can. Sometimes we've been right, sometimes we've been wrong. Sometimes we've taken risks that really worked out for us. Sometimes it didn't. Sometimes we didn't take risks and we look back and we wish we would have. And sometimes, as Ted used to say, God helps those that can't help themselves a little bit sometimes. So sometimes the best deals you make are the ones you don't.
Sometimes the best deals you make are the ones you don't.
I love it. And so you just I think you weigh everything and you weigh what is in the moment and what is in the future as well.
Right, I'll ask it a little more directly. Would you, if a player like Micah Parsons were available and the price would be as high as that, was that something you would even entertain?
Yeah, first of all, I can't talk about any players on any other teams, but I think, again, every opportunity that's out there that if we think it could help the Packers, we're going to take a long look at. And, again, if that opportunity makes sense to us, then we'll do it. If it doesn't, we won't.
I remember asking you back at the owners meeting about the pass rush after free agency. You said you expect a lot of internal improvement there. You have a full camp now to evaluate. How do you feel about the pass rush entering week one?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. And I know that you guys have been around for camp and in the preseason games. They've done a really nice job, So, I really like the way they've been working. I think DeMarcus Covington has done an excellent job with the front. And then half the way he ties in the backers and everything else with that stuff. I really like the way we're trending. I think I've seen individual improvement from a number of guys, but I think most importantly, I've seen just kind of the coordination between the group and what we've been able to do so far. Again, it's pretty early, and the real bullets will start flying here pretty quick. But I like our ability and what we have in front of us.
All right, so there you go. That's what Goody had to say about all that. What's your take on
shout out to DC, Coach DeMarcus Covington. I love that he gave him his flowers there because we've been talking about that for the better part of the last month, what he's doing with that group. So appreciate that for sure.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Jacob.
Sorry, yeah. I don't remember if it was in that exact clip or if it was somewhere down the line. I can't remember who asked him, but they said, being that you were very excited about the edge rotation coming into last year, and then he said, I think they said something about they were up and down, and Goody kind of cut him off, and he went, no, they were dominant at times, and they just weren't dominant consistently
all the time.
And I was like, oh, that's a good line too, because it kind of it snapped back at the reporter, not that it was reporter fault, but it's kind of a that whole I hate using the term casual fan, but that was kind of the casual fan's take, was we didn't have a pass rush last year. Yeah, we did. We had a damn good one at times. It just wasn't sustainable and consistent enough so that it was really felt by the people that watch ESPN or whatever. So it, to me, shows one that I think he kind of took not an offense to that specific guy, but maybe to the fact that he didn't put together a good team. You know what I mean? He did, and he still has a good team. So
no, and what we talked about all year last year, Emilio, was like the games where you seen the pass rush kind of slack off a little bit. You could openly, I mean, you could see it if you knew where to look. Like they're really keying in on stopping the run. Like Tennessee, we were there in-house, me and you, right? We were in the stands. We were a little south, not gonna lie, but we were in the stands. And I remember I said this time and time again. I looked at Mandy. I think Emilio was getting another drink, but I looked at Mandy and I said, one more score. Because we were up by like, I don't know, 10 or 14 points. And like I said, one more score, and we could turn the dogs loose. And sure enough, we scored one more time. And what happened? Here come the sacks, because they just started pinning their ears back and going, right?
Yeah.
So,
my point was
BTA. Know what I'm saying?
The belt's coming out. To add into Jacob's point about the D-line and Tim's point about Covington is how often did Covington in New England have elite or superstar D linemen that he got to function extremely well in a defense, and they had solid defenses for years without needing a superstar or somebody with a big name, crazy, something like that. So maybe all it does is take a coach and the right approach, different game plan, all that to make this happen. And on top of that, you bring in Micah. How often is he going to stay in structure of the rush? Like, I mean, just even on I know they couldn't see it, but a couple of those clips, yeah, he's rushing upfield and then I'm just going to swoop underneath. I'm going to kick out. I mean, what if you had contain on that, but you wanted the sack? So, I mean, it's just those little things. That's how much is he going to buy into the team plan program?
Yeah. Ed Madden in the chat says Parsons, Garrett, Crosby, Higgins, Metcalf, all these people that everybody wanted, right? A grand total of 0 rings for all those players.
Exactly.
And again, it doesn't mean they're not good players. What it simply means is, well, let's just give me another screen grab, Tim. This right here will go hand in hand with what we just said. Same one with Goody. It's going to be Goody again. He says you're never one player away, right? So let's hear what he had to say here.
A bunch of times that you're never a player away during past trade deadlines. But to Rob's question, what if that player is like a Hall of Fame trajectory sort of guy? Can that be you're a player away and that guy could be just not a run-of-the-mill guy? He's like
I'd love about 22 of those guys so we can roll out, each and every time.
Which is what we've been saying, right? Like, I want Micah Parsons on the team. That'd be great. Somebody actually responded to me on Twitter and said, so you don't want Micah Parsons? Of course I want Micah Parsons. I don't want him for what y'all are talking about selling a damn farm for. That's crazy. Yeah. We've lost our minds. If you think one player is worth 4 players who are starters on the team, these aren't backups. These are starters. You're talking about giving away possibly our number 1 receiver. You're talking about giving away LVN, who another person, I think it might have been in the Patreon group, and I need to get to those questions here. Probably do that tomorrow. I think it was Chris N said that John Gruden said that LVN finished last year with under a 10% pressure rate. Well, it depends on where you look. Where did he get his information? Again, I get mine from NFL Pro because I can watch the snap and go, that was a pressure, right? A lot of people just press into PFF and go, well, PFF said this. Okay, cool. Which play? Give me a timestamp. They won't do it. You can't do it, right? It's like these phantom statistics that you can't back up with the tape. So, again, let me continue to play this. I just want to point that out. Like, of course you want great players. Nobody's saying that you wouldn't take on Micah Parsons. It's what's it going to cost?
I mean, players make impact. There's no doubt. That's what, you win and lose games because players, right? I mean, these are the guys that do it. So certainly players make impact. I am not a huge believer that one player, you're never one player away, right? It's just, I never believe that. But good players make impacts. And so anytime, there's players of that caliber that you can acquire, you're trying to, so, but this is the ultimate team game. I've always believed that. And, some of the best teams we've ever seen, didn't have a ton of stars on it, right? So it's really about how those units operate together. So again, you can't win without good players, but they got to work together. It doesn't matter how many good players you have. If they're not working together, it won't matter.
Bingo. Does that sound like that sounds like our concern with trading the farm for Micah Parsons. Yeah. This is my stance. I've been open about this the whole time. I give a first and a third for Micah Parsons. And you know what? If he comes in and he's a turd in the punch bowl, it sucks you lost the first and the third, but at least you didn't lose 3 firsts, right? And here's, how you structure the contract. You may be stuck with it for a few years. It is what it is. To me, that's enough of a gamble. I don't understand the whole, sell the farm. There's a couple comments in here in the chat I want to hit on real quick. Solder. And Reggie was a free agent, cost only money to get him. See, there's people all over X going, this could be the Reggie White. This is the Reggie. No, Reggie White just costed money. You didn't have to trade 3 first-round picks to get Reggie White. And also, Reggie,
we're not; those 2 players are not even.
See, they're
not even in the same realm.
Yeah, this is what Ed Madden says. Reggie was a free agent, big difference, and Parsons isn't half the player Reggie was. There are people, and I'm talking about by the droves, that think Micah Parsons is on Reggie White's level. Mm-hmm. You young whippersnappers did not watch football back then.
They were probably crapping in their diapers when Reggie White was, helping us win a Super Bowl. So
you could put the tape side by side. Watch Micah Parsons run around, fly around, bounce around, get out of his gap, get absolutely owned in the run game, and then go watch Reggie White. I'll never forget the conversation we had with Mike Wall on here. Mike Wall had to go up against Reggie White his rookie year. And I said, what's one player, one experience, I said, from camp, and he gave me a couple stories. I said, so you played against Reggie? And he went, yeah, we practiced against Reggie. I went, what was that like? He said, Reggie was different. He said, when you hit Reggie, it was like, whoa, that's not normal. Like it was just like hitting a wall, like a brick wall. Like it's just, that's not Micah Parsons, guys. It's not. Great player. Don't get me wrong. Could be a Hall of Famer, right? That's the other thing that people are parroting right now. And I don't want to mention names. I don't want to start a damn war here over football. But a guy earlier today said he only played in 13 games and he had 12.5 sacks. Gary played in way more games and only had, 7.5 sacks. Look at the snaps, knucklehead. It doesn't matter how many games you played in. What's the snap count comparison? Gary can't control the fact that Matt LaFleur is a firm believer in rotating that defensive line in and out, right? So if you get Micah Parsons and you do that rotation, is that money well spent? $45 million a year for him to play 65% of the snaps. 65, there it is. 65% of the snaps or whatever it may be. That's the stuff. It's just that they don't. Again, man, it's just. I hate using the term casual too, Jacob, but I don't care to use it when people are talking down to other fans. Like, this is why the Packers don't win. Mark Chmura is on my crap list, bro. Like, how are you a former NFL player and you're buying in all this garbage? It's unbelievable. It's got to be scripted. It's got to be. You know what I mean? Like, there's got to be. Let's say something to get attention, because it's absolutely mind-boggling. So. Yeah,
it is. And people are getting a little crazy over it. Like, I just had to ban someone. I don't like doing that. You guys know that. Whoever that Roger Rance is, Omar, getting put on timeout and then comes back in and says he's going to threaten legal because of freedom of speech. Come on, man. Just chill out. I was just going to highlight.
I missed that. What happened now?
It's already done. I'll talk to you about
it after. It ain't done. I need to know this story. I need good humor.
He was just absolutely spamming the chat with literally the same exact 3 or 4 quotes over and over and over again. And then once I put him in a timeout, so he's able to come back in, he said basically, like, don't ever put me in timeout. I'm going to talk to a lawyer about freedom of speech or whatever, something like that. It was just something stupid.
Doesn't he live in Europe? Isn't he like?
Yeah, well, I was going to highlight one thing just kind of in that same vein. And again, just I don't ever want this to get personal with anything, but Mr. Zach Metzenbauer, he came in earlier in the chat and he's like, haven't seen y'all live in a long time. Really glad to be back. Love it. And I appreciate that. He said 1 Super Bowl in the next 2 years. I'll take 5 years of losing. I could not disagree with that sentiment more at all. I just wanted to get your guys' position on that because I've heard Ryan talk about that, how other fan bases are so excited to go all in, and then they're fine with like 5 to 10 years of losing because of whatever that one out of 32 teams is going to have success with that strategy, and then they completely usually fall apart. It's very rare that there's that business model ends up being something that's productive. But
it's like taking that loan on that new truck that you just got to have. You want it, you can't afford it. Feels real good for a while, and then the repo man shows up and tows it right off your driveway.
So I got to take it. It's on the list, Tim.
Yep.
Clint, the armchair quarterback, says, I'll call Johnny Cochran. So there you go. Johnny ain't with us. Johnny didn't make the team, in case you were wondering, right? He's no longer with us. But listen, freedom of speech.
Put Bates' comment up there.
Oh, God. Where's Bates at? Put it up there. You see it?
I started, Jacob.
Oh,
It's in the start. Yeah, Roger Rand stolen valor. Oh boy.
Yeah, he also randomly dropped that he's the vet, which don't get me wrong, I appreciate that more than anything. But
who's a vet?
Apparently Roger Rance.
Maybe.
Hey, cool, man. That's great. Appreciate your service. What the hell has that got to do with you getting in here spewing nonsense, spamming the chat? Here's the cool thing about YouTube, what I love. Anything. That's the beautiful thing about our country too. Let's go. Somebody give me the national anthem in the background real quick. So when you take the time to create your own YouTube channel and you put in the work and you build an audience and you bust your ass behind the scenes to try to create good content and do all these things, put something together. Here's what's really cool. You can control who gets to see it.
Yep.
Kind of cool.
At any given moment, you have the right to say,
sit your butt outside.
That's a beautiful thing, man. And you know what's so cool, Roger Rance? You can go create your own YouTube channel.
You can
or another account or your 15th account.
Another account, which he'll probably do it here in a minute. So the point is, if we don't like what somebody's saying in the chat, I've got the right to go, I don't want you watching my channel. That's the way it works. It is. Now, we welcome everyone as long as you're respectful. You can disagree on an opinion. We have people all the time, right? We can agree to disagree and still be friends, still be co-fans together, right? The problem is when you get in here and you spam the chat over and over and over and over, it ain't gonna work. Just ain't gonna work. Sorry, ain't gonna do it. But that cracked me up. Freedom of speech. That is hilarious, dude.
Yeah, must be no.
Anyway,
I don't know. I got a lot going on over there. I don't know. So,
we're gonna give him some.
So, with that being said, and that's it. It's probably best we just ignore those people.
Chuck has the best point. Listen, if you get kicked out of this chat, you are special. Trust me. I have very rarely ever had to do it.
Yeah.
You're an amazing person. You know that, don't you?
Yeah, it's like the bowling alley without the bumpers on it. I mean, you hit a gutter, but it just refreshes you back to the top. It'll still bring the ball back up, but I'm telling you.
Hilarious, man. Judy says, I'll write them a cease and desist letter for a couple grand.
Pay that man his money.
All right. So we covered anything else on Micah Parsons, the situation? Because to me, as we started with, and it always felt like from the beginning, I don't think he's going to end up in Green Bay. Let me ask you guys this as we move on. Goody's comments. Do you think, am I missing something? Or to me, it sounded like what Goody's saying is for the right price. Yeah. I have a hard time believing Goody would give up 3 first-round picks for Micah Parsons. So am I the only one?
Nope.
Feeling that way?
I mean, he would be hanging his reputation and the rest of his Packers career on this three pick trade. I mean, if he does that and it doesn't work out, and he's a goner in any of those 3 years, what's the next guy going to do? How does he approach it with having no capital, no picks, nothing? What you got to rebuild, all this and that. I mean, it seems like it would just be buying high and selling low kind of thing.
Yeah. Zach Metzenbar in the chat says, I think Goody will give up 3 first-rounders. He said his job is on the line this season. Who in here in the chat thinks that Brian Gutekunst's job is on the line this season? I need to know. Get your all's opinion. Is everybody in the chat, is Goody's job on the line this season? What would it take for Goody to get fired after this season?
3 first-round picks. And Micah getting hurt immediately and out for the season. Yeah, that would be.
Ironically, that's why he would lose his job, giving up 3 first-round picks and then Micah not panning out. The comment that got me was what he said at the end, like, hey, it doesn't matter if you got 22 great players. If they don't play together, then what did he mean by that? Why did he feel like necessary to say that, right? I don't know, because Micah Parsons was laying on a training table during the preseason game the other day, and the coaches literally had to pull him in. They said that it was Coach Schottenheimer, I think it was, the head coach.
Yeah.
Pulled him in aside and said, listen, I understand you're upset. Can't be doing that crap. Not on my football team. You're not going to be out there laying on a training table pouting. Not going to happen. And by the way,
followed those quotes though with the comment about DeMarcus Covington and what he's done with the Lions. And then he talked about great teams that, found success and found championships without necessarily a lot of individual star power. They were teams that played as a unit. It's a team game, a team sport. really respect that.
Yeah. Packers on top said Goot would have to go 0-18 and lose the bye week. Dennis Shook in all caps. He meant this. Would you trade 3 firsts for Myles Garrett?
No.
I wouldn't. Now, here's the thing, too. It's not just 3 firsts. The conversation has been 3 firsts and Rashawn Gary. So you're really talking about 4 firsts is what you're talking about. And the other rumor, which we always laugh about, was 2 firsts, a second, a fifth, and Rashawn Gary for, Myles Garrett or whoever, insert name of player, Isn't it wild, though? We started with Max Crosby, and then we went on to Trey Hendrickson, right? And now we went on to Micah Parsons. And this ain't a shot at Dennis. I love Dennis. Dennis is one of our great listeners. I enjoy his humor, too. Now we're on to Myles Garrett. We keep going down the line of all these pass rushers, right? As if that's what's going to get us over the hump. That's what somebody said. Micah Parsons is the player that gets you over the hump.
No.
Let me ask you guys this. How many wins, if you bring Micah Parsons onto this team, let's say you give up 5 first-round picks, right? And you're just focused on this year. How many wins does Micah Parsons give you? Because the reality is similar snap count between him and Rashawn Gary, and he had 5 more sacks than Rashawn Gary. What we're saying is we're willing to pay $20 million against the cap and 3 first-round picks plus Rashawn Gary to have 5 more sacks than a player that we're now going to trade away. You see what I'm saying? Now, if we're just talking 3 first-round picks, to me, what makes sense is get Micah Parsons and pair him with Rashawn Gary. That makes sense. But even then, first and third. If I'm giving up 2 firsts, boys, if it don't work.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Funny how all those names have a common theme, right? They're all on the same damn team that they started on when these conversations started.
Mm-hmm.
I'm willing to bet Mike is going to end up in the same boat, probably a Dallas Cowboys.
Myles Garrett disliked the Browns. How much? Wrote a letter at them out. I said bye to the fans and said, wow, I love Cleveland. I'm so happy to be here, be back in town. I got some.
That direct deposit hit the account, and he was like, I'm good.
Here's the other thing with Myles Garrett. The team said, oh, his back's hurting, right? He's, because that's where this is going next. His
back is already hurt. Yeah.
They did MRIs and everything. Everything came back clean. So now he's going for a second opinion somewhere else outside of the building, right? As if the Cowboys are lying about his back and it's really hurt and it's not this and that. So just really, really, really strange. Donovan Schilling says, you guys are mistaking me. I never thought Goody was on the hot seat in any way. Matt said it on McAfee. Got you, buddy. Got you.
Is that all stemming from the fact that, Ed Policy basically made it known that, they're not making any moves on Matt's contract or Goody's contract right now? And I think everyone's kind of taken that and run with it. Like, these guys are on the hot seat now.
This is what's crazy about that. This all started because Ed Policy said he doesn't believe in lame duck coach contracts, right?
Exactly.
This is what he meant by that, guys. There's 2 years left on their deal. So if they've got 2 years left on Matt LaFleur and Goody's deal, right? So what he means with what a lame duck contract is going into the final year of your contract without an extension. What he simply said, that's not a negative thing toward Goody and them.
Exactly.
Right? And somebody had said it earlier today. I'm trying to think of who it was, but I've listened to so many podcasts, but they said there's no precedent in Green Bay for a coach to get an extension while he's got 2 years left on his deal. That doesn't happen.
Well,
I think it was Adam Schefter. He's like, that's common knowledge across the league. It's very rare that a coach has 2 years left on his deal and he gets a new extension. They usually wait till the last year of the deal. And the comment by Ed Policy with the lame duck contract comment, it's actually the opposite of what people are reporting. What he's saying is, I don't want them to go into the last year of their contract and not get a new deal. Right? Because everybody in the organization, they're kind of on shaky ground, and it's this. Okay, that motivates people. Gotcha. But guess what happens with assistants? If they see a coach going into the last year of their contract, and that coach gave them the job, and they're going, oh, crap, he's on shaky ground, and another team comes and offers them a similar deal, just a slight promotion, they're taking that and leaving, right? There's a lot of instability that happens. So that always cracked me up that people use that as if that was – oh, no, Ed Policy put everybody on notice. It's totally the opposite. What are you
Exactly.
Now, I'm not saying that Goody's safe. I'm not saying LaFleur's safe. Anything could happen. If they come out and win 3 games.
The NFL, how safe can you be, right?
Right. If they come out and win 3 games this year, their ass is on the hot seat. I promise you that. But it has nothing to do with what's happened up to this point, in my opinion, And here, another one. I know everybody got tired of me saying this last year, and I'm going to say it again. It was officially announced the Packers officially have the youngest roster in the league once again.
Yeah.
So there's that. But anyway, Jacob, were you going to say something, man, before I went on my little rant there? I apologize.
No, you basically kind of covered. I just said you as I was going to ask you as like kind of a business owner. It doesn't make sense to just extend needless contracts when you may have like a business plan budgeted out for certain things that you want to do, and it seems like it's just unnecessary, like you said.
Yeah.
Again, he made that comment saying, "Hey," and here's the other thing too. Adam Schefter pointed. This was on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy this morning. Adam Schefter said, "Well, the reason Ed made that comment or hasn't extended them yet is he just stepped into the role. He's probably trying to get a grab on things. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that he doesn't want to extend those guys. Matt LaFleur is one of the winningest coaches, listen to me, in the history of the NFL. And he's done that with the youngest roster in the league for, I think, 3 years running now.
Yep.
And he's done that with the roster that Goody's created. So you can't have a coach that's one of the all-time winning or one of the highest winning percentages in the history of the game. We were saying this when he was 3 years in the league. And they go, oh, well, he hasn't coached long enough. Well, now we're coached long enough, and people now they just they ignore it, right? Well, Goody's created those teams. How can we say they're on the hot seat? That's just, I don't know, man. It's kind of odd for me. So, yeah.
Who was that in the chat that said if Ryan Poles isn't on the hot seat, then Goody's seat is cold as ice?
Goody could take the year off if Ryan Poles ain't on the hot seat. You know what I'm saying?
Didn't he get extended?
Well, that's too old for this. I like that. Good comment.
Yeah, definitely. So look at Chuck Jaggers with another. This is next Friday, by the way.
Top flight security of the world, Craig.
Friday after next, actually, right? Not just the city,
man.
Not just the city, the world. That's when Money Mike came in. Boy, you guys remember that was my first experience with Cat Williams.
Cat Williams, yeah.
I love Cat.
Yeah.
Money Mike player.
Said, let me check my Palm Pilot. Looks like I ain't doing shit. Such a good movie. Y'all got to go watch all the Fridays, man. They're so good. There's a new one coming out, right? Am I thinking right?
I think that's true.
They got Chris Tucker back.
What?
So, yeah, they're pretty sure Chris Tucker's going to be in this one.
I think it's in production or something right now.
Yeah, there was rumors of that when I was still in high school that was going to happen.
Yeah,
so I'll believe it when we see it. So, all right, boys, we need to get out of here. I've done it again. I'm in trouble.
Yeah, you're in trouble. Let me just mention Sean Dolak made the 53 for the Rams. So go.
Who's Sean Dolak? Now, who is he? Is he a punter? Am I thinking right?
No, he's the linebacker, wasn't he? Yeah.
From UB.
Oh,
who?
He's a linebacker.
Oh, don't hit him with the who, Tim.
He was a linebacker that played for, what was that team? Let me think here for a second. It was Podunk University.
Yeah, Bobby. Yeah, we got the hard eyes. 202.8 on the board. Come on now.
Southern Louisiana State Mud Dogs. You guys know about the Mud Dogs?
Bro, when we were at the Redneck Brawl, and
there were some Mud Dogs players there.
And Emilio said, oh, my God, look back here. We got a Bobby Boucher jersey. There was a guy sitting behind us with a Bobby Boucher Mud Bowl jersey.
It was fun.
I don't want one.
And then he was right next to the dude that got kicked out for throwing a beer.
If he hadn't looked like he hadn't showered in 2 weeks, I would have tried to buy that jersey off of him. Yeah. I just had to peel it off of him, I believe. So, Clint the Armchair Quarterback Super Chat. Thank you, buddy. Says kicker talk for Donovan. Happy birthday. There you go. Wait, we got any kicker talk tonight, boys? Anything at all y'all want to add to the kicker talk?
Yeah, McManus is the man. He'll be 97% or better this year, all season. Let's go.
Yeah, you just hold it, Dan, and I'll kick the bloody piss out of it.
That's right.
I think I'm going to go out on a limb and say that the Packers beat the Lions week 1 with a game-winning field goal off of McManus.
I was going to say
63-yarder, just a deep bomb.
For all you degenerate gamblers, the Packers are 1.5-point favorites right now. Now, keep in mind, like we always say, the home team typically gets 3 points. So that would suggest that the Lions are 1.5-point favorites instead of Green Bay.
Interesting. 3 points. You mean like what a field goal is worth?
Exactly. So yeah, that's very interesting how that lines up, right? So
I would just say I'll make you one even more bold prediction is that, and like Amelia was talking about the first month with Golden, I'd say McManus wins us 2 out of those 4 games in the first 4. That's my prediction.
Mm-hmm. Greg Rice says you certainly have the right to ban anyone for anything, but I think the show is more interesting with different opinions. I completely agree, man. There's a lot. Do we disagree on stuff, guys?
All the time.
All the time. All the time.
Yeah, differing opinions is different than like spamming the chat.
Spamming chats. Yeah, that's not the same thing.
This is the difference between us having differing opinions and what happened in the chat. You guys tell me your opinion. What do you think the Packers will do this year? Everybody talk at the same time. I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody's mic. All right. Now y'all talk. Go ahead, talk. Keep talking. Go ahead, talk. See, let me tell you why they're wrong, okay? That's what you're doing when you're spamming the chat. You're literally going in the chat and going, forget everybody else's comment. Let me just rapid fire. Bang, 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 bang. Right? So, yeah, I'll mute everybody now. So, anyway, just to prove a point there. But, yeah, everybody's opinion's welcome here, man. Hopefully y'all know.
65%. 65%. That's what we
I get to speak a little bit. 65% of the time, Clayton mutes the mic. All right.
There you go. We get this new mic, man. I'm excited about this.
That thing is fire.
Ooh, nice.
Like that.
Yeah, that set me back about 3 months off my marriage. But it's funny how
do
that
that, you're going to get your ass kicked. And then
That's correct. Anything else, boys? Anything at all, man?
Go Pack, go. You want a differing opinion? I don't think we need a McManus field goal in week 1.
Ooh.
Boat race their ass at Lambeau. Let's go.
Talking about, man.
Let's do it.
Tim's burner, Cody Newman.
BTA. Know what I'm saying?
34-14 Packers. Lions reeling after 1-3 after 4 weeks.
Let's go.
The interior of their O-line is going to be something to watch. Absolutely.
Josh Jacobs with 35 carries and screaming for more, talking about.
I put the team on my back, dude.
Come on now.
All right, let's get out of here, fellas. I want to give a special thanks to everybody tonight. Josh Martin with the super chat, Randy Steen with the super chat, Clint the armchair quarterback with the Parsons headache. Appreciate the donut there, buddy. And Clint the armchair quarterback again. You guys are way too kind. We really, really appreciate you. And special shout out to everybody in the Patreon group for supporting us over there. Patreon.com/Packer Fan Total Access. Going to be doing a giveaway this weekend. An autographed Lucas Van Ness rookie card. Still waiting to hear back from Travis Stace. All right, still haven't heard from him. He's not a member of the Patreon group, so he must have been gifted a membership on YouTube. So, if you guys aren't familiar with Patreon, you want to support the show, you can just click that join tab here on YouTube as well. So, all right. Anything else? We good?
We're good.
We're good.
All right. Thanks, everybody, so much for tonight. Appreciate y'all. Hit that like, hit subscribe. If you were new here, thank you for making us a part of your evening. Click that bell icon so you're notified when we go live in the future. We will see you tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. Central Time for PTA Live. Everybody protect your freedom of speech, okay, even if you're in a YouTube chat. See y'all tomorrow. Take care.
Here we go.
Bye, guys.